Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Imperfectly Graceful with Harjot and Rhonda. You all know that I'm a mindset and leadership coach, and Rhonda is a feminine leadership coach. Today is an important episode for us as colored women because this was one of the reasons why we started this show to bridge gaps and share that as women of color, as women, first of all, and women of color and women whose English language is not the first language, English is not the first language, and come from different backgrounds, different cultures. We wanted to come out here and share our perspectives and views and really show that although we come from different backgrounds and may look different from each other, we all do go through challenges. Some of them might be different, but the fact that we all go through different mindset challenges, unique mindset challenges as women of color, especially as online entrepreneurs in the coaching industry, where we are still the minority. And it's not to say that we're trying to play victims or to shame anyone, but we wanted to just feel empowered and be able to share our thoughts about the unique challenges we face and how we overcome them, so that it can give permission to all women facing different kinds of challenges, and really be okay with going through them. I want to give a huge shout out to white people in the online coaching community who are, standing up and acknowledging whenever they have misappropriated a culture or religion or anything. I have so much respect for them, because just the fact that you acknowledge when somebody reaches out to you and say, hey, is it possible for you to address this in your group or in your community, because I heard you say something, because I heard you use a certain word, and I was triggered by it or something. And although I've never reached out personally to someone like that, I know people who have, and the person received it so well, and they were able to, not feel judged and make it about their mindset or their whatever, and they owned it and they stood in that, uncomfortable awkwardness of, oh my God, am I like exploiting my privilege here by just, hurting a community? I love seeing that. I love, seeing them own that. I'm biting my tongue. I'm hesitating. While other people don't get to hesitate. Like, we're talking about race I should be able to say this in a simple word, yet I'm being careful because I don't want to offend anyone, while I'm not even trying to offend anyone. Do you know what I mean? This is what I go through.
Absolutely. Well, this is what we're
like
talking about, right? Well, totally understand. Like, I relate because this is exactly what we're talking about. Now we're just displaying it. We're just, being imperfectly graceful about. There you go. That's how it happens.
Yeah. This is a hard topic to talk about, and it may not look like it, but this is very complex. It's very complex. I constantly feel like, Rhonda, my biggest fear was when I opened up my coaching and consulting business. I had an office, and I started getting clients right away, and eventually I wanted to switch on to online coaching. And one of my biggest fears was, I'm not gonna get clients. I'm only gonna get clients who are either Indian or colored or whatever. And I sat in that and I judged myself for thinking that. I'm like, how dare you? You are a woman, you are a colored person, and you're sitting here in this scarcity and thinking, oh, what if I don't get white clients? What if the, that was a scarce belief I had, to think that, of course, people weren't going to receive me that way because that was the energy I was sitting in. Interestingly enough, a lot of my clients in the beginning, online weren't colored. So that was interesting. And that was my fear. Like, if I talk about my spiritual belief, if I talk about the ancient wisdom that comes from India that I really believe in, I will be judged for it, while white people do it all the time. And please know, I'm not saying this to judge my people at all. I'm just sharing my truth here. And these were the beliefs, limiting beliefs I had. And somewhere these are very complex beliefs that a lot of colored people have, and they probably don't talk about it. The worst kind of racism that you face is the subtle kind. It's not the most obvious one. It's the most subtle kind. And the one that I have constantly experienced is people telling me, you're not like other Indian people. You're not like other Indian girls. Um, it irritates me when I hear that, because I'm like, how dare you say that? What do you mean I'm not like other Indian people or Indian girl? I am 100%, 1,000% Indian, and I own that, and I'm not. It's not something I'm ashamed of. So if you sit here and thinking you're giving me a compliment, first of all, you're not. That's very offensive. And then the spiritual part of me wants to be open to that and say, okay, this person obviously, has different views and has not been exposed to a lot of different perspectives, and it's time for me to educate. So when I was younger, I may have retaliated and went into a defensive mode and like stood for myself and my people and all that. Now I'm in the space of educating, and honestly, that has been good. And this is what we're doing now too, is to just share with you, like, everyone is different. You're different, I'm different. And if you see me saying something that isn't relatable to you, stay open to that, and I will stay open to your differentness. Is that a word, differentness? Your different thingy. God, I need
Yeah.
the coffee.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I know for sure a lot of women will definitely relate to what we're saying. Like you said, um, we experience that on different levels. We experience that through different um, events, situations, through different thoughts, even. But we have all, at some level, been through that, and so we're kind of the same on that level. We're really the same that way.
Yeah. So what I want to ask,
So
Brenda, is what has been your biggest sort of experience being a coach and having a different background and having unique mindset challenges? What are some of the major ones beside like not being able to fully express, hesitating to express that you come from an Arab background?
well, to me, um, like I remember at the beginning of when I started my business, I was excited about that because I would say, I would present my service that way. It is a flavorful blend between Oriental and Occidental.
Mm.
And, because I'm using feminine energy techniques and then science-based techniques. And although I am expressing a bit, just a little bit of my Oriental culture, but I'm still like, not fully expressing it. Like I'm expressing it in a way that makes it look. It's like I'm putting makeup on the idea, right? Like I'm just making it look a little bit better.
Like
So
you're
I'm not. Yeah.
you're changing.
Yeah. I am saying that I am bringing the some of the juiciness of the Oriental culture in that feminine um, energy area, but like I'm not telling it the way it is. I'm just making it look fancy,
Yeah.
as if some part of me says it's not fancy.
Yeah.
That thing is not something fancy to share.
But the beliefs come from, because we constantly were fed a one narrative. This is the norm, and any norm that was different, any narrative that was different is not the norm, is not going to be accepted. Well, I'm no longer available for that. my narrative, my experiences, my upbringing, my growth, my culture, my wisdom, my spiritual background. It's all a part of who I am and the work I do. And I believe it has the power to um, enhance so many people's lives as entrepreneurs, as humans, as women, ability to empower them. And so I'm no longer available to the beliefs that, oh, I'm different, I may not be relatable to people, or that I'm no longer available for holding my self-expression back. I shared last episode that expression or expressing is is the theme of my 2020. That's the thing that is, I feel like, has chosen me, because I feel this thing to express myself. I'm no longer available for those beliefs that stop me from doing that, even at the cost of losing followers, even at the cost of people unsubscribing from my group or from whatever, like my social medias, emails, or whatever. I'm no longer available for that, because the longer I stay in that mindset, I know I'm going to keep attracting the people who are not going to understand me, who are not going to find me relatable, right? So this is how I'm choosing
Yeah.
to see this. Rhonda, what is your perspective around this right now? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a process, and we are kind of like shedding layers when it comes to that limiting belief as we go. And it shows up in different ways, and we're just learning the lesson. We're just going through that same process of um, removing the layers and healing these parts within ourselves, and then coming into full embodiment of who we are.
Yeah.
And yeah, like to me, this is something that um, lately I have been experiencing more of, and it's been like telling me where I need to heal. It's been telling me, it's been showing me
Same.
what parts that I have been alienating of myself that I need to bring back home to me. And this is what I'm gonna do. There's no other way. I can't be that truly powerful feminine if I'm leaving parts of myself hidden or just alienating myself from these parts. So there's no other way but to embrace these parts within me, and um, I don't need to worry about making them look juicy or fancy or exotic. I don't care.
Exactly. If
They're
you're not,
parts of me.
yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm standing behind you, supporting you, cheering for you while you go through this, as I know that you do the same for me. And we want to do that for all of the women watching this. If you're feeling somewhere, and you don't have to be a colored woman to have challenges. We know that everyone has challenges. We're just sharing some of the unique ones we face. And I love that you said that, Randa. It doesn't need to be exotic. It doesn't need to be juicy. It doesn't need to be like appealing in that sense. It just needs to be something that empowers you, because if something can empower you, it can empower other women. May not be for every single woman out there, but many women, right?
Yeah,
And I'm sitting in that too. I was in India recently, and that was so much of permission giving to me. It was such a spiritual trip. It was a short trip. It was a quick trip, but something I needed, something my soul needed, to come back home and be like, I'm ready to fully own this. Because part of the fear and anxiety I felt, being an online coach and entrepreneur, is this hesitation to really show who I am. And it wasn't done deliberately, like, oh, I want to, not that I was being fake, I was still being myself, but like not revealing certain parts of me, not really owning fully, just being there. So I'm ready to show up in that light too, like 100% own, bring some new perspectives, and in a way that is going to serve me and also the people I serve, right? Like, that's the energy I'm in. No more holding back on self-expression. That is the biggest act of betrayal. We do self-betrayal, and let's just not be available for that anymore, right? A
yeah,
huge permission to
sounds
be
good.
whoever the heck you want to be. There's people out there who will relate to you. You just have to first, you know, accept that about you, you know. So, what are you going to do going forward? Um, what are the things that you really want to do, but every time you go and sit and do, whether it's writing in on a post in your content or a live video that you do, what's something that you constantly hold back on that you want to start doing more of, Rhonda?
Sometimes, just like you said, spirituality is a big part of who we are. And sometimes when we're faced with even using words like God, and then I feel like I have to maybe like add universe, source, because if I'm reading other people's posts and they're saying source or universe, to me, I understand it my way. I don't judge the use of these words.
Yeah.
Um, but then, like, when I feel like I have to, use these words just because everybody is using them. So, although I don't relate to these words, I use the word God. That's the only word I can feel. Um, and so I think that this is something I would definitely uh, be
Yeah.
doing more of, sharing more of my spiritual side and how it makes such a big difference in my life. It's a big part of my life, and I'm just going to be unapologetic about that. I'm just going to say things the way they are, how I believe in things and how I feel them. Not that I want others to believe the same things that I believe in. I'm just saying things through my own eyes. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. You know, I hope to see you do more of that. I hope for you to use the language that comes naturally to you, because I know it will empower so many other. I think so. For so long, we sit in our own, in our struggle, in our critic, that we kind of make this into such a big thing. I do that too. It becomes such a big thing in our mind, but really, it's actually, if you look it from the outside in, as in from the eyes of, from objective eyes, it's really like, this is just a different way of saying it. And if I say it, maybe if people won't relate to it, but I know other people would. If you were reading that post as your follower, you'd be like, I totally get that. And they probably wouldn't even be thinking, oh, I can't believe she's using that language. Like,
Or
I'm
yeah,
somebody who uses so many different words to express the word God. And the reason why I do it, because I believe in the higher power, and I know this power as Vaheguru or God or so many other, like, you know, in India, like, there's so many different words used to express this phenomena, God, this being
yeah,
that we were all created from. And so I'm somebody who enjoys reading, and I'm somebody who uses words like source, universe, higher consciousness, higher self, things like that, you know.
yeah.
And I also like using the word God, you know, like, it's not. So I hope to see you use more of that. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you. And I truly can't wait to see when you start sharing more of um, these, the spiritual stuff that you're always talking about in our talks, off the record, like not the recorded ones, but
Yeah.
you're always sharing how that part of you is so important to you, and how you feel like there's something inside of you that is pushing you towards expressing that from a place of, like, not because you want to go against the norm, because you think like other people are misusing that, but because of you wanting that loyalty that you have to your belief, and you wanting to um, like maybe defend it. And so what, like, this is something that's so intimate for us, and like we have the right to do that, and like, so what, yeah. So I'm excited to see you doing that thing as well.
Yeah, same. Thank you for, thank you for saying that. I think that I'm ready to kind of start owning that. So I want to know, is this a mindset thing? Um, how can I, like, own more of that, you know?
Yeah, it sure feels like it's a mindset because again, we're always being told this is how you should do things. Because we see the coaching, especially the coaching industry, we see it through the eyes of the Western world, right?
Yeah.
And we have like even we are born and raised in the Eastern world, in the eastern part of the globe.
Yeah.
We are constantly being told, and really everywhere we're being told, you're going to do, you want to do something, you want to succeed in this, you have to do it the way it is being done by who is like who gets to decide what's
West. Yeah.
the criteria of success, or right. Like, they are like the coaching industry started there, and they get to decide how things are being done and what success in that industry looks like. And so automatically we're thinking, oh, that's how I should do it
Yeah.
to succeed in that. So,
Yeah.
um, and also part of our souls is telling us there's no only one way to do things. There are a million other ways to do it. And when you start embracing the inner powerful feminine leader inside of you, she will lead you
Mm.
to that expressing that part within yourself. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's not easy being a feminine leader. That
It's,
means going through that shit and
yeah.
owning that and do it the feminine way, not the masculine way.
Yeah. I love that. It's messy. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It's sometimes not fun. It's
Yeah.
sometimes easier to conform. It's sometimes easier to sound like everyone else. Um, I'm guilty of that in the past, you know, but I always come back to like, no, like, I don't want to be like everyone else. And I'm not saying this in a way uh, to just say it. I mean, like,
Mhm.
there's a part of me that really wants to show up in the uniqueness and create value for other people out of that. And, you know, I take a pledge today with you, Rhonda, and you being the witness, that I am ready to step up even more as a feminine leader.
All
I
right.
am here to pave the way for so many diverse voices, diverse women, um, who are holding back, biting their tongue, not being seen, and are struggling and going through the pain of not being able to express themselves. And I just want every woman to be able to do that. And the most responsible thing as a feminine leader I can do and we can do is to own that and take that empowered responsibility to do this ourselves. I can't expect to empower someone if I haven't gone through that empowerment
Absolutely.
myself.
Yeah.
Like, I can only help you to the level of evolution I've gone through. So, you know, I'm ready to step up even more. I'm ready to own all the unique ways I'm here to serve.
Thank you.
And
That's what the world needs.
yeah, we're ready.
We are.
Yeah, so this episode is probably gonna feel very vulnerable for us to share. It's probably gonna feel confusing when I hear it again and again. I'm gonna think, I wish I had said things differently. But this is
Yeah.
part of us trying to express a part of our truth, a part of our story, not in a perfect way, imperfectly, in an imperfectly graceful way. However, we will keep coming back to these points. We will keep coming back to some of these points again and again and share more. And as we get better stepping into our role as feminine leaders, we will come back and do it again and again. But for today, this is what we wanted to share with you. Please know it's coming from a place of love and not judgment. Um, we're here to be sisters and be community and lift women up, lift each other up, give each other permission to be themselves. So I hope that for some of you this enables that. And if there's anything that felt a little challenging, I actually invite you to reach out to me, reach out to Rhonda, and we're open
Yeah.
to having these conversations, because I really want this show to be about uh, empowerment and bridging the gaps, really, right? Rhonda, what do you want to say as we finish this?
Yeah, I would love to hear what our audience have to say. And
Yeah.
maybe they're not like, maybe a lot of them will not be thinking that some of our content is unrelatable, or maybe a lot of them would be welcoming of anything we share about ourselves. And also, if any of them has if any of you ladies have experienced such an experience, that it may look differently, but you know, if it elicits these uncomfortable feelings within you, do share with us, because that empowers us as well. Um, we always love to receive empowerment from you ladies, so please do share your experiences with us.
Yeah, definitely. Um, just to wrap things up, the three main points that sort of came up while this is the common things that we all go through, whether you're a woman of color, whether you are coming from a different ability, a special ability, or just belong to a different group who has different lifestyle choices than the majority. We just want to say, like, we all face this roadblock of, am I relatable? We face that. I'm sure you face that too. So let's have a discussion around that in the comments. Send us a DM. We're willing to have more talks around that. The second one was like holding back on self-expression because of thinking you're too different, maybe too much, or maybe too unique for other people. This is a thing to work around. Own that differenceness and show up in that expression. Express yourself even when it feels uncomfortable, because that is the process of getting ahead. Unfortunately, it may not always look easy or feel easy, but do that. And the third one is dealing with the very highly judgmental inner critic. Again, everyone faces that. Owning that, be open. One of the ways to do that is through journaling or having a talk with your bestie like we're having, or just coming on a live on a Facebook and just sharing that and connecting to people who may also be feeling that way is a great way to just kind of normalize that, really, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And before we go, we know the world needs more courage and love right now and compassion right now, and not more panic. So we're gonna wrap this up by a quick heart math technique called the heart lock-in. We're gonna just do it for a minute or so. You can continue doing this once the episode ends, but we wanted to just kind of segue into this, right? So in order to do this, we're just gonna close our eyes. You can put your hand on your heart area or chest area if you want to. You don't have to. Focus your attention in the area of the heart. Imagine your breath flowing in and out of your heart or your chest area. Breathing a little deeper and slower than usual. Inhaling for 5 seconds. And exhaling for 5 seconds. So whatever rhythm is comfortable. And as you continue to focus in this area of the heart and breathe through it, I want you to make a sincere attempt to activate a regenerative feeling such as love, compassion, courage in your heart area. Allow your heart to act as a radiator of these regenerative feelings. And with each breath in and out, I want you to radiate this feeling of love, compassion, courage to every single cell in your body. Allow this radiation to move outside of your body to your immediate surroundings, continue to breathe and radiate these feelings of love, compassion, and courage to people around you, in your city, in the world, who are in panic right now, all the healthcare workers and frontline civic servants who are serving their people, of their countries, of their cities, everyone who's affected by this virus right now actually has contracted this virus. And extend this radiation to the ones who've lost their loved ones to this virus. We're now going to go ahead and end this episode, but you can continue to radiate this to anyone you want to, even yourself, just to allow you to sit in love and mindfulness and presence instead of thinking worst case scenarios, which is going to be very easy to do right now. But try not to panic, really.